Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am happy to introduce the third speaker of today's FDP. Mr. Nagarjun is currently working as a project associate at Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology. Sir has completed his graduation in mechanical stream from KS Institute of Technology, Bangalore, and PG from Siddhaganga Institute of Technology, Tumkur, in the stream of manufacturing science and engineering. Sir has worked in profiles such as graduate apprentice trainee at Bemmel Limited, Kolar Goldfields, quality engineer at Safari Designs Private Limited, and also has publications in both national and international journals. Sir has participated as well as delivered lectures in many faculty development programs, workshops on IPRs and biofuels. At KSCST, Sir was mentoring the Bioenergy Research and Demonstration Centers established by Karnataka State Bioenergy Development Board in all 30 districts in terms of technical and administrative roles. Sir was also coordinated the projects of Student Project Program on Biofuel Projects, Kitchen Garden Development in Chamarajanagar District funded by DST Vigyan Prasar, Glycerol Project of NDRI funded by DST Government of India, Used Cooking Oil Survey in Bangalore City and other areas. Now Sir has been assigned to coordinate the KSCST Patent Information Center and Technology and Innovation Support Center, WIPO. At Patent Information Center, Sir follows up all the information education and communication activities of PIC, IP filings, establishment of IP cells, institutional policy making, and other projects and programs of the Patent Information Center. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a brief introduction. I believe I won't make you sleep. Okay, so let us go with one more important topic of intellectual property rights, that is trademarks. Okay. So we all know that, I mean, from morning you have been hammered with copyrights, plagiarism and all. So I'll hammer little towards this subject, trademarks. Okay, so next the speaker will hammer you on infringement cases. So in this particular class, we'll deal with what are the definition of a trademark, so what are the types of trademarks, and how we can generate our own trademarks if we are associated with any incubations or business related matters. Okay, and what are the procedures need to be followed for registration, and few case studies. Okay. So the name itself indicates trademarks. So an indication which related to some kind of a trade. So basically the definition or the name itself suggests. Okay. So when come to this particular trademarks, whatever the business that you do, it should associate it with your business or not. Okay, the first question. Second question is, so how much may be the value for a particular mark or the brand that you give? Okay, it should be eligible. And third thing is, do I have a potential to create some kind of my own identification business in the society? Okay. Can I have my PPT, sir? Fine. So this trademarks associated with, according to the Act of Trademark 1919, okay, so 99 we follow. So trademarks associated with any kind of words, letters, colors, shape and other combinations, and also associated with sounds as well. Okay. Okay, fine. So does anyone say the business that what we do, it should associate it with our identification of mark? Is it required? Suppose if you are doing a milk business, does the symbol that you come up with, it should have a milk symbol compulsory or cow symbol compulsory? Yes or no? How many yes, how many no? Yes or no, sir? It should have yes. So rest of our, I assume that no. Fine. So there is a small incident where one of the experts has shared many times. I believe you have also seen that particular example. How many are aware of this paper boat? Paper boat. Many faculties are parents, but obviously their children have demanded for this particular thing. Okay. So when I heard this name paper boat, okay, and it is with the experience of an expert also. So what he thought was in a where in airport this incident was happened. So a child was crying for paper boat. So the expert thought that it is crying for a paper boat or an article. Okay. So with the help of a paper, he made a boat and he presented to the kid. Okay. The kid throws on him. Okay. So this person shocked. So why? What was the problem? Then he asked the mother, "Madam, I have gifted him a paper boat. So, but still the kid is rejecting this. What is the meaning?" Okay. So then the mother explained, "Sir, paper boat means not paper boat which you have made. It is a juice." Okay, where the kid is asking. Okay. Then the expert realized, oh, that's the thing, and now. Here we should have a conclusion that whatever the business that you do, okay, it should not associate with the same name itself or the same thing itself. Anything you can keep as a business mark and you can start your business. Okay. So in the picture if you see, so what is that? Some kind of a seal. Okay. So which era it should be? I don't know, sir, exactly. Okay. So maybe in some references I found that it's a Pashupati seal. Okay, where the Harappan civilization or Manjodara civilizations using for doing a trade business, which means it gives a significance or a information that the goods whatever may they are selling or it is being marketed. Okay. So it should have an authentication. Okay. So now come to the same example here. Okay, so the paper boat where the kid was crying. Okay, so but the expert, if I there, I should have gifted him a paper boat. Okay, see this trademarks basically confirms with the identification of a product, the source, the quality, and obviously the advertisements related to the particular business. Okay. So these are the constraints where a trademarks need to be. Okay, or practically any business term, it should have complied with all this effect. Like it should have, first it should have a consumers. Okay, without consumers, no business, nothing will be there. Okay, first we need have the consumers. Then obviously there are some rules and regulations to follow that, and there are some regulations or identification like that how the trademarks should be registered. Okay, then it should have a business, and obviously we have an agent or attorney who will help in doing the business. Okay, so we should keep in mind that we should not go, I mean this is not related to trademarks. Generally three people are very important. One is police, second is lawyer, third is doctor. If you go once to him, and you need always to go with him. Okay, if you go to police station once, then minimum 5 years you need to go to the police station. If you go for doctor, you need to go. Okay, so these are some of the persons are very associated. So one person that is an advocate here plays an important role in trademarks. Okay, where he helps in filing the trademarks and especially in the litigation and any arbitration process. So this is how required. So according to the definition of trademarks, which is related to any symbols, letters, okay, and any color combination, everything is associated with the trademarks, right? So many trademarks you can see here, Asian Paints, Bajaj, all those things and all. And basically this trademarks acts as a symbol of goodwill, okay, and also acts as a quality assurance product, because you can easily identify in the market which brand is good and which brand is a duplicate or local, whatever it may be. Okay, so this decides the company's profit as well. Okay, the trademarks decides the company's aspects, and gradually this trademarks increases the customers. Okay, so once you have a trust in one particular product, obviously go with that particular product. Example, if you take the sports fellows example. Okay, so many people go with Nike, Puma and other shoes. because rather shoes, they won't feel that much flexibility for their use. Okay, so there are many examples. Obviously, it can be given for words, letters, and the drawings, symbols, maybe in the 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional. Okay, so and audible sounds. Ole la 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 le lo, ole la 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 le lo. Which one is this? Huh? Kingfisher. How many have? Okay, fine. So when you do the application, okay, when you file an application of a trademarks, okay, so you'll get a number as TM that you have been filed, and you have a reservation there. Okay, so when you get a trademark, then it will be registered as R, like how it is. Yeah, just if you remember anything related to this particular matches. So if any are from rural background, okay, see this particular matchbox we used as a business for us. Okay, how in the sense that particular, the front page is 100, okay, the back side is 50. So that's how we play a game in my childhood days. Okay, and this is the only matchsticks which is available during that time. No home lights, no other lighters, nothing was there. Okay, so if you ask a matchbox in the shop, the only matchbox that are available during that time was this particular thing. Okay, so the slide was put up here to just to have a note like how business is attracted with a particular case. Now you have a lot of matchsticks coming up. Okay, but this impact made a lot in during my olden days, maybe yours also, because I am too junior to you people. Okay, see this trademarks, we already know that. Okay, recently with the digital market, Digital India, Make in India. Okay, so lot of many startups have been started in the Bangalore itself. Okay, so with the industrial policy of 2000 till 25. Okay, so more than 10% of the startups which has been established. Okay, they are very good in doing the business. Okay, so which is related to all this economic aspects, quality, social, and advertisement, everything. Okay. So this trademarks all associated with this particular thing. If any business need to be existence, it should always have match with this particular cases. So we already know that the trademarks is an IP protection to any business, which gives an exclusive right to use, sell. Okay, it can be asset a particular mark, and basically it builds a branding image. Okay, if you say Apple. Okay, so obviously you won't remember the Apple fruit, but you remember the Apple iPhone, right? So that's the branding impact that trademarks give to a product. Next, it helps in preventing customer confusion. Okay, so if you want to go and buy a bike or something, okay, you generally go with the company name first. Next, you go with the, once you fix the bike, then what is your selection? Color. Okay, so whether it should be black, white, red, or it should match with your Vastu thing. Okay, so then you go with the color. So this color combination also plays an important role. That's also where somewhere associated with the trademarks. And especially this color combination is especially associated with the designs also. Okay, so when come to the automobile especially. And most valuable and enduring the business assets, obviously it's a confidence, right? And most efficient marketing, it's a communication tool, can wrap up a single all intellectual and other emotional arbitrates. Okay, attributes. Okay, fine. Okay, and there's a general thing of importance, because already you have already experience regarding the trademarks or any business product. Okay, so how you select everything. So all applies to the importance of a trademark, right? So we have many varieties of trademarks here. Okay, so one is a conventional and another is a unconventional. Conventional in the sense, the product mark. So anything which related to products, it's called as a product mark. And the service marks, we'll see the examples. Okay, so each and every examples we'll see. So we have a collective marks associated with some organizations. We have certification marks where the BIS mark. Why BIS mark is used? BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. Okay, fine. For jewelry, what is the mark? Hallmark. Okay, so it's a certification mark, right? And we have word marks also. We'll see that examples also. We have device marks. We'll see that also. And apart from the unconventional marks, we have color marks. Okay, so colors we'll see in the slides. Okay, shapes we have, smell marks we have. I believe bubblegum. I believe everyone has have a taste of bubblegum. Okay, and especially with boomer. Okay, so some kind of smell it is, right? Okay, and you can bifurcate the boomer and other associate same chewing gums, right? Exactly. Okay, so that is the uniqueness, and the trademarks can be associated or given for that particular thing. Okay, like sound I mentioned. Okay, so we have Airtel. So what is the sound of Airtel? Airtel sound. Somebody? Airtel. Do something? No, I forgot. I also forgot. Yeah, somebody can say it. Airtel sound marks. Sareli Parogila. La 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 la. Yeah, super. Please clap him. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Martide nanu nijavaglu. Yeah. Super. Okay, and we have a series of family marks. Okay, so Haldiram. So it's a family person who started the business, and it's become a mark. Okay, like Tata. So we have a lot of examples. We'll see one by one. Okay. So obviously the certification marks we can see here. Okay, so we'll go with the examples directly. Okay. So in earlier days, we have this tooth powder. Okay, so generally in the olden days there was no toothpaste for us. Okay, so this Nanjangudu tooth powder, so which was very famous during that time. Okay, so that's the brand and the image that they had given. It was manufactured in Nanjangudu, right? So we have one more trademark which is registered first kind in UK, and the Pashupati seal may be believed that one of the oldest trademarks. Okay, so in the history they have mentioned. So that's that first trademark. I mean, not first. Okay, but it's a reference that trademarks have been originated from that particular case. Now we have certification marks here. So we have different one. So silk mark. What can be? Why it is granted, or for which? It's associated with the silk sarees. Okay, so hallmark you all know. So Indian Organics, we have Bharat Sarkar, Government of India. That's AgMark for agriculture products related. Okay, so we have Bureau of Indian Standards. Many products we need to do the certification. Okay, so handlooms we have. Handlooms have been recently they had registered this particular thing. Okay, so Ayush we have. So these are certification marks, which means which gives an assurance to a particular product with the certifying agency. Okay, so the first agency is like FSC. Okay, so for any food products. Okay, so first they need to have a registered associated mark. Okay, then it can be given to the organizations to issue a quality good products related to the particular area. Next we have service marks. Okay, so if you are into a business which enhance or which gives some kind of information things like this. Okay, so Google, so one of the service mark. Of course the educational institutes comes under services. Okay, so if you want to file a logo for your educational institutes, it's go with the service mark, right? Yeah, we have Twitter, IBM, Amazon, Infosys. How Infosys coined? Info plus system. Okay, so Infosys, they have just took three subjects, 3 words, and the term Infosys has coined. And now people are more advanced. If you want to keep their son's name or daughter's name, they're selecting 3 words from the father, 3 words from the son, or 5. They're coined that particular thing. Example, if you take Vivek itself, okay, our Vivek, okay, so Mr. Vivek, he took some 3 words in his name, and his wife name is Ashwini, so he coined son name as Ashwik. Okay, so 3 words from this, 3 words from this. So I said, go and register a trademark for your son. Okay, yeah. So that's how you need to select. Okay, so once you go with the business, so some kind of strategy you need to follow for identification of your business. Right. So we have some associated marks, okay. So generally trade business started with one product, okay. So if you take a lot of many cases of the trademarks, first it started with one product. Example, milk, it started with milk, now milk products, okay. So many milk products we have. So in similar way, MTR, they started with one product, now we have a lot of products, and all these has been associated or numbered or umbrella in one particular mark, that is MTR, okay. So we have number marks, okay. So Mangalore Ganesha BD. So does Ganesha, any relation to Ganesha and BD? Nothing. There is no relation, okay. So, but it's very famous. But now you can't get a registered, mark for this kind of words, because Ganesha is very similar to us. We can't. It's become generic, okay. So we can't get that. So high words, 555, monkey parquet. So we have, okay, and many numbers we have. And I said trademarks can go with the names also, okay. So these are some of the well-known established trademarks, that is Tata, Nilgiris, Vasudeva Adigas. If you just remember that particular words, you can remember what type of business that they do, okay. So can anyone say one faculty name or anybody's name? Yeah, you can also start with your name, okay. So we have already. But the thing is, you want to become some kind of impact that you need to do in similar to the Tata families, okay. Then your name will also become a good trademark in the country, okay. So like my name, Nagarjun, we have a Nagarjuna business, Nagarjuna Dam, okay. So I'm glad that my name is already in the business area. Yeah, fine. Your name, madam? Shobha Builders, yeah, they are well known in Bangalore, yes, Shobha Developers, Prestige, yeah, yes, absolutely. So we should feel very great, okay. Somebody asks something, what you have achieved, you should tell that in my name we have some kind of business already, yeah, yes. So these trademarks are also associated with the alphabets, okay. So best, MRF Tires, KFC, and HP, okay. So Yahoo, IBM. See, there's nothing very background or anything here, okay. So it's just a business, okay. So signatures also can become a trademark, okay. If you become the topmost lead manufacturer or corporate or some kind of awardee like Padma Bhushana, Padma Vibhushana, okay. So then your signature will also become a trademark, okay. So we can also do some kind of a business. For such a signature, the company would have paid a lot of money to get that signature, okay. Yeah. So fine. Shapes, goods can also have this particular trademark. See, the paper boat, they have the registration for the paper boat name and also for the shape of the bottle, okay. So that's called as trade dress, okay. So that's called as a trade dress. For both they have. And a device can also have a trademark like LG and all those things, okay. So obviously earlier I said that these trademarks can have an asset to us so that we can sell, do business, whatever we want, okay. And obviously if somebody copies our trademark, so what is the procedure, or what is that called? If somebody copies our work, what is that term? What is the term called? So if you do copy in examination, we say ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಮಗ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, okay. So what if somebody copies my trademark or copies my copyright work? What is the term called? So it's there. So it's called as infringement, okay. So in intellectual property rights we refer as infringement, okay. So that's called infringement. If somebody does any infringement to my trademark, okay, so then what is the remedies that I have, okay, so that I can sue them in any particular case, okay. So in the later stage, Mr. Sushen will deal with lot of examples like how trademarks are infringed and what are the remedies have been taken, what are the compensation have been paid, okay. So we can see that. And obviously a trademark should have descriptive similar, okay. It should not have descriptive similar, okay. It should have some distinctiveness, okay. So we can see in the next slides. See, if you take statistics of trademarks from 2017, okay, So more than 2 lakh applications has been filed. Now 18-19, if you go with the statistics, there are more than 3,000 trademarks applications have filed, and in that particularly more than 2 lakh applications have been registered. Okay, so each and every day there are a number of filings all over the country. Okay, so this you can see in the IP website where we have detailed reports of trademarks. Okay, and these are some of the graphs which indicates that. Okay, so these are some of the trademarks you can see. So the first one is Android. Yeah, next Apple. I said trademarks can go with the color combinations also. Okay, so you can see there. And the third one is, what is that? MACD. Fine. Next, Windows. Okay, so the next, PepsiCo. Okay, fine. So I believe all the trademarks you have been well known. Okay, and below we have all the details, right? Yeah. See, once you go with the application TM, then you go with the registration. Now come to counterfeit. So what is counterfeit? What is counterfeit? So if something same related to the products or same related to the existing one, if you make a fake goods, okay, so then it's called as a counterfeit goods. We have a lot of counterfeit goods. If you go with the Care Market, okay, so on the platform you can see lot of counterfeit products. Like Adidas shoes can be buy within 500, 600. Okay, so you can have. Of course, there is no. It is very difficult to identify the goods also, because in such a way the people manufacture the goods. Okay, so it looks similar to the original one, but it's a fake one. Okay, we'll see the examples also. Okay, and always we should note that. See, of course, one is the economy where people go with the counterfeit goods because they are not affordable to buy particular products. Okay, so hence obviously many people will go with the lower cost one. Okay. In spite of that also, you can always have, okay, so you should always have to purchase or do a business with the registered trademarks, and always have a practice of, once you purchase any article or any goods, kindly see the sticker. Okay, so whether it is registered, whether it is trademark application has been filed, or no trademark is there, or no intellectual property is there. Okay, so this become practice now. Once I entered into IP field, if I want to drink a water bottle, if I purchase, first I see whether it is registered or not. Okay, then I go with the shape. Does the shape has any similarity between the already existing product in the market or not? Okay, so now it become a habit for me, and always I used to purchase which if it is any original mark is there. Okay, rather than the company, I'll just buy it. Okay, so I won't prefer. If some example Bisleri only, if I don't have a Bisleri there, if something Kinley is there, okay, I'll buy because it is already registered. Okay, so even though if it is Bisile, okay, many people have seen this Bisile water bottle. I don't know whether I am not remember it is registered or not. Okay, so if it is mentioned are there, then I'll purchase, no problem, because if we want to give any authentication registration for any particular business or any particular product, if it is authenticated or it has some kind of a authentication from the government, like this trademark registration, all those things, then we can obviously assure that the product is good. Okay, and we can buy the same product even though the brands are different, right? Yeah. Okay, so obviously the trademark rules that we follow is 1999. Okay, so the subject matter is reputation and goodwill. Okay, and the next is the important criteria for the trademarks, that is distinctiveness and non-descriptiveness. See, distinctiveness in the sense, for example, what I have here. Okay, fine. I go with the same bottle itself. Okay, so if you see that particular bottle, or two bottles I'll take here, one with the Bisleri and one with the Kinley. Can you able to bifurcate both the bottles? I mean, which company they are? Yes. Okay. Yeah. With the help of a shape, you can bifurcate them. Of course, both are from the same, company which is doing the same water business, but you can bifurcate the shape, the company name, everything. Okay, so that's need to be there in the trademark. Okay, so it should be have descriptiveness. Okay, distinctiveness which means you should identify the particular trademark easily. Okay, there is no confusion for you, right? And non-descriptiveness, like example, so in the beginning itself we said, okay, so does apple has any relation to the business, apple fruit? No. Okay, so that's non-descriptiveness. Whatever may be the products that you come up with, your trademark does not indicate the business that you do. Okay, it doesn't need that. Okay, and obviously if you go with non-descriptive type of name, letter, word, then the registration of your trademark is as soon as possible, and you don't get any notices like you are infringing someone's trademark, or it is not matched with the trademark conditions. Okay, so if it is non-descriptiveness, then the chances of getting a trademark is easy. Okay, yeah. No, not necessary. Okay. Yes, madam. Cow is not necessary. Okay. So that's what that's called as descriptiveness. Okay. Descriptiveness means you have given the identification of a particular product, what business you are doing, like said cow, or water business, some water drops on that, or oil business, some oil drops on that. Fine, it is good. It should be okay. But if it is there, okay, so everyone will apply for the same thing. Okay, people have equal opportunity to get the same kind of registration. Okay, you can't stop them. You can't stop them for registration on their name with the same oil drops, or maybe the color change of oil drops. Okay, if you go with the non-descriptiveness, okay, so it will be on your monopoly. Okay, it's become a monopoly, and the trademark will be on your name permanently. Yeah. See, obviously the trademarks protection is given for 10 years. Okay, it can be renewed every 10 years. Right. See the same case here. So does this Nandini and versus Nandini case. Okay, so here, can you find any similarities here? Usually you can bifurcate, right? That this particular Nandini is related to a milk business, and that particular Nandini is related to hotel business. Okay, so both this Nandini has filed a suit, saying that the hotel Nandini name should not be given. Okay, so the court held in the favor of Nandini Hotel. Okay, saying that because there is no confusion between the customers. Okay, and easily they can be identical. So hence the case in favor of Nandini Hotel. Right? Okay, now both you can easily use it. Well-known trademarks. Okay, so if it is well-known trademark, okay, so does the trademarks compulsory registration need registration? Yes or no? Yes. No. How many yes? How many no? If the trademarks, you have a business, okay, so if you want, is there any compulsory registration for your trademark? Or you can do business without registering a trademark? Yes or no? Just generally think in the society, many of the businesses doesn't have a trademarks itself. Okay, so for doing some kind of a small stationery shop, see they don't have a trademark. They do the business. Okay, so there is no compulsory registration for a trademark. You should not compulsory, but it is advisable to go with the registration always. Like in similar way how the copyrights, right? Okay, so these are well-known trademarks where you can't get the registration now. See, these are some of the best examples for that. And if you come to the classification of trademarks, okay, so total we have 45 classification. Okay, so once majorly it deals with manufacturing goods and the services. Okay, so the class 1 to 34 deals with the goods. Okay, and class 35 to 45 deals with the services. Okay, so if you go with the brand and trademark, okay, so what does the brand represents? the brand gives complete picture of the company, okay, like what are the business that they are doing, and how it's almost attached, like the properties whatever there with the company, okay, so it reflects with the help of a brand. This trademarks protects, okay, protects the brand name, okay, so it's a tool to protect for that particular brand name. So we have trademark offices, okay, at Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, New Delhi and Chennai. Okay, so generally the southern part of India go with the Chennai patent office, so where we need to file. And yeah, I said that there is no compulsory registration for a trademark. It is advisable if you go with the registration. And always once you so before going to trademarks, okay, so now I believe everybody has a concept of what is trademark and what are the varieties are there, so how it should be, all those things. So if you want to do a trademark registration, or if you want to file a trademark on your name, okay, the first thing that you need to do is search, okay, so that search called as trademark search. However, in patents what we do, prior art search we do, in similar way this also prior art search we need to do. So first we need to identify whether any kind of similar mark that I am I want to file now is already available in the market or not, okay, so that you need to study and search, okay, it can be with the databases, internet databases and any magazines, and generally the market survey, okay. So once you come up with this particular thing, okay, so this is the Indian website ip.gov.in, where you can file the trademarks, designs, patents. Okay, so copyright we have separate website, that is Copyright Office India. Okay, so here if you go, you can do the search. Okay, so and this is a design, WIPO database, where here also you can see search the trademarks, right? And once you come up with the particular trademarks, okay, so first your selection of a trademark should be there. And again you need to do the prior art search. So if suppose if you find a similar kind of mark things, then what you need to do, so you should change something with associated by color, mark, letter, anything, okay. So then you need to prepare the patent application, trademark application, then you need to go with the filing, either offline or online. So once you come up with the name or trade name, okay, so the first and foremost thing you need to do is preparation of an application, okay. So the application generally includes your name, the area of business, the classification, the bibliographic data of yours, okay, and descriptive of your product. So you need to describe your product, like what business you are doing, okay. So and you need to attach relevant documents like your MSME registration and how many years from you're doing the business. Does your business has got any market stability, or it has any impact in the market, okay. So all the things need to attach, and then you should submit either online or offline to the patent office, okay. So this is the fees, okay. The 5,000 is a nominal fees. If you go with the e-filing, it is 4,500. So the general file will be 5,000. If it is a big company, corporate company like that, so 10,000 is a registration for trademarks. And other fees we have, like suppose counterfeiting and for renewal. So we have different fees. Okay, the basic fees is 5,000 for a small entity. Okay, yeah. For startups, everything 5,000. So now. So suppose if somebody infringe your particular goods, right? So obviously infringement will be there. So just have a look. In the next session, the speaker will be elaborative on this particular cases. Okay. So just observe the figure, Nestle versus Nasty. Okay. So any trademark infringement? Yes or no? Yes or no? Jor se. Yes. Okay. So here they have used pigeon something, there the vulture. See, both birds are different, right? So how it will be an infringement? Fine, it's a question mark. Okay. So this is related to Yahoo and Akshara Arora case, where Yahoo, you already know very well, and one more defendant is that Yahoo India. Okay, so both are the domain names, Yahoo and Yahoo India. Okay, so where with having the names are similar. Okay, in this case the names are similar. So the case in favor of Yahoo. Okay, since it's already been in the public domain very well. Okay, so Yahoo India has been rejected. They have been executed here. So here also Candid B versus Candid B. Okay, so it's with the Glenmark Pharmaceuticals and skincare. Okay, so do you find any similarities? Yeah, it's look like a similar thing, right? Okay, so both this Candid B and Capdid B, D. So that's B, this is D. Okay, but if you see suddenly, okay, both appears to be similar. Okay, so here 1.5 crores has been charged as an infringement. Okay, so in favor of Candid B company, right? So now if you want to select a trademark, okay, so there are some of the rules, not rules, some of the information you should already you should know, and you should select in such a way that it should not got any objections or refusals from the patent office, right? The first thing is you should avoid geographical names, common names, and surnames. Okay, so to do your business, you should avoid these things. Next, avoid laudatory words, like example, see the premium, okay, the gold, the deluxe. So it is already well known to us, okay, and it is describing the quality of the product. Okay, those kind of words you should not keep for a trademark. It should next is descriptive words, means the business that you do is not in connection with your trademark. Okay, there is no particular condition that your trademark should associated with your business. Okay, it indicate your business, no need. Okay, right, coffee shop, coffee boss, coolers, refrigerators, you come with the refrigerator picture. Okay, so there is no need, you can choose your own. Next, words which have a direct reference to the character, okay, quality of the product, services, and common personal names and surnames we should not. Okay, geographical name, so that we have, so this also we have. And here one more important thing, that the trademark may get refused. Okay, so once you go with if it is not distinctive character, okay, so it is, if you file a trademark, if it is causing any confusion between the existing trademarks, okay, then obviously your trademark will not be granted, right? And obviously there is no in relation with the product and the trademark. And if it is harm to any religious matters or sentiments, okay, so it should not be that. Any scandalous or obscenity matter, okay, in similar way that, okay, emblems and names cannot go for registration. Okay, so these are some of the example based upon that. So these are some of the words or the things that you should keep in mind for selection of a trademark. Okay, so your trademark should be an arbitrary, it should be a fanciful, it should not be a suggestive trademarks, and it should not be a descriptive. Okay, and generic names you should not be select. Generally, if it is arbitrary, then the trademark granting is more. Okay, so suppose example, if you see here, salty telephones. Okay, so salt, does any relation with the salt and telephone? No. Okay, if you go with this kind of names, obviously the registration of your trademark is more. So fanciful, it should have some kind of well-known recognition, or people should easily catchable to the product. Okay, catchable to the words, catchable to the color. Okay, so like that you should keep the trademarks. Okay, so for example, Kodak. Kodak is any relation to the camera? Yeah, we have Kodak in the sense camera. Okay, but while the coining of this particular trademark, okay, so this becomes a fanciful name now. Okay, like this you need to select some kind of words which can give the business names. Okay, so some of the examples based upon that. So Reebok, Microsoft, which are related to the same thing. And these are some of the arbitrary marks where there is no in connection with the business. Okay, Lotus, Windows, Monkey, 555 Porke. Okay, So there is no in connection relation to the business. So these are some of the marks. Suggestive marks, okay. So which indicates some kind of a quality or characters to the product, okay, in connection with the users, right? See Airbus. Airbus, if you say, it's a business with the aircraft business, okay. So synonyms, we can select the synonyms, okay, which gives where people can't remember that particular thing, okay. So generally go with the synonyms. Like if you have a word, can you keep some kind of use some kind of synonyms where you can keep that as a trademark, okay. So Airbus, something which is new, okay. So Vimanyan, it's a common now. Okay, fine. I am not remembering any same kind of words. We'll go with this. So these are some of the examples. Grill and chill. Okay, so what is it indicates? Grill and chill. Some kind of food business, right? Especially with the chicken, mutton, everything. Okay. So your identification of mark, it should be like that. Okay. So if you say a word, okay, it should be a for relation, but it can give information of the business that you can do. Okay, so you can select in such a fashion. Like descriptive marks. Okay, so obviously it should be, if it is okay, but the granting for this particular descriptive marks is somewhat difficult. Okay, it is always advisable to go with the non-descriptive words. These are some of the examples. Best Buy, Rapid Seal. Okay. So some kind of information that always it gives, okay, so that we should avoid this kind of marks, okay, and generally the registration is very difficult for this type of marks. And generic terms, we should not be used, okay, which is very familiar to us, very generic, okay, which is already in the public domain. Those kind of words, marks, we need to eliminate, okay, so we should not go with that kind of particular things. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. Thanks for patient hearing. If you have any questions, we can take it now. And now, after that, we'll have with the second speaker. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I have taken a lot of time. Sushen sir, if you're okay, you can take the class now. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nagarjun. That is a trademark presentation by you. And yeah, we are happy to know that what is trademark and why we have to register the trademark. Also, it is good to see that some of our childhood products like a Cheetah Matchbox and the Nanjangoodu tooth powder and all. So it has been a long time that we have seen those things in the screen. Also, that at this moment, I would like to share that we are in the process of registering our college name under the trademark category. So when I was approached the Patent Information Center from KSCST, they told that it is difficult to register our college name in the name of Indian Academy because there is a geographical name is there. But instead, they suggested that we can go as IADCA registered trademark, and maybe we can register our slogan also, get ready for life. So this example was quoted by them because even the same thing, like a Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology, they could not able to register the trademark in the name of Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology because there is a geographical name is there. But instead, they have registered the thing as KSCST. Same way, they have suggested that we are going to register our college name as IADCA, registered trademark. Below that, there is a slogan called Get Ready for Life. So soon we are going to see our registered trademark. Thank you, Mr. Nagarjun, once again for your presentation.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. We are in the end of the session. I request Dr. Sibi sir for invite this session's guest by Sibi sir. Yes. Come, sir. You want to go by 3:30? ये कौन? End of this session you have exam, so you have to clear that all the 4 sessions feedback in the form of exam, then you will get the certificates for this FTP program. Online means as usual offline exam 3:30 to 4. I request Dr. Sibi sir to invite our guest speaker for this session with the bouquet. So I am happy to introduce Mr. Shushan for this session. He is a postgraduate in business law from National Law School. His area of practice is commercial litigation, direct taxes and intellectual property laws. He has previously worked with the senior counsel and 2 law firms specialization in intellectual property law and commercial litigation. During his career, he has helped various corporations and individuals recover their dues from defaulters through courts of law, arbitration and mediation. He has represented several corporations in proceedings across India. He also previously litigated before the High Court of Karnataka at Bangalore and Gulbarga and the High Court of Bombay at Goa. He has an intensive knowledge in intellectual property law and its enforcement mechanisms in India. He has represented several well-known corporations and across various sectors including real estate, hotels, music industry, electrical engineering, data analysis, etc. His disputes relating to intellectual property, his specialization in intellectual property laws includes extensive litigation in trademarks, copyright, trade secrets, patents and protection of plant varieties. Let me call Mr. Shushan to take the session.
Thank you.
I hope you will enjoy this session because you have a wide range of knowledge in IPR, especially in the case of law.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me. And I always blame Mr. Vivekanand Sagar, who you know very well, that he always gives me a session that is post-lunch. Everybody has already had their lunch, everybody's sleeping, and he calls me to come and talk. All right, no one, irrespective of that. So my name is Sushen Srivatsan. I've been practicing as a lawyer for the last 8 years. I am a partner at my own firm called ASP Legal, and my topic for today's presentation is infringement and passing off of trademarks. So coming to the question, what amounts to an infringement? Let me give you a quick example. Imagine a day where it's very hot. You're walking on the street, you're very tired, you're already very sweating. You go to one shop and you look at one water bottle that has a green colored label and you say, give me Bisleri. He will simply pick it up and give it to you. You will finish half the bottle, and when you have settled down, you will look at the label and it says it is not Bisleri, it is something else. That is how trademark infringement occurs. To the common man, a person with average intelligence, a person who does not look at everything with a very keen eye, two marks can look the same even though they're very different. That is how infringement occurs in day-to-day lives. This similarity can either be visual or it can even sound phonetically similar to the listener. Even though the names are very different to look at, the labels are very different to look at, they sound similar. So when somebody utters the name of that brand, you think that it is a different brand at the end of the day. Now, I know it's a very personal question, but how many of you here have had COVID vaccine? Already had COVID vaccines? Nobody? Okay, at least can you tell me the names of the two vaccines? Covaxin and Covishield. Do you know which company is manufacturing Covishield? Have you heard of Serum Institute of India? That is a company that is manufacturing Covishield. What you also don't know is, what is not actually publicized is, there is another company in India which has brought out an injunction case against Serum Institute against using the name Covishield. It can even happen to huge companies like SII when there is a lot of publicity involved. That is because they claim that they started using the word Covishield before Serum Institute, even though the word Covishield has become synonymous with the vaccine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's understand what is infringement and what is passing off. Now, on the quick question on why should you get your name registered as a trademark? The biggest advantage is you can sue somebody else for copying your name for infringement of your trademark. In other words, a trademark infringement is nothing but a comparison between what is registered before the trademark registry and what the other person is using. If those two things are similar, then we'll say that it is an infringement. But however, as per section 27, the Trademark Act also gives remedies, or it does not take away remedies in respect of marks which are not registered. There are many situations where people have been using a particular name or a logo for the last 20 years, but they have not bothered registering. Nevertheless, the law permits them to take action against these potential passing off actions. Passing off literally means somebody is trying to pass off your goods or services as if it belongs to them. That might happen either by copying a name, or they might do something else to make it appear that what they are selling or what services they are offering actually is coming from your end. That is what passing off means at the end of the day. Going into a little more detail on what amounts to an infringement, it literally means in the course of a trade, a mark has to be either identical to a registered trademark or it has to be deceptively similar. Take the case of Bisleri. How many of you have actually seen, fake Bisleri bottles? Everything else is absolutely the same. It will say 50 years, everything. Instead of Bisleri, they'll write something else. But as a common consumer, not everybody looks at the label very, very clearly. This is what is known as deceptive similarity. Such kind of deceptive similarity is very, very common. It is very rare where a person is using the exact name in the exact color combination with the exact logo. People always try to find shortcuts to, get away with trademark infringement. Now, such kind of deceptive similarity is likely to cause confusion, or it is likely to have an association with a registered trademark. People might think that even though these marks look different, it must be manufactured by the same company. Such kind of things is also possible, and people go to great lengths in the market to ensure that it looks like as if their products are somebody else's products, because they just want to ride on somebody else's goodwill at the end of the day. So like I said, this deceptive similarity can either be visually similar or it can be phonetically similar. Let us look at a few more examples, but before that, let us understand what amounts to passing off. Let's say that your mark is not registered. It is not that you have no remedy under the law. Even if somebody is trying to use a deceptively similar name, you can bring an injunction case against them, or you can maintain an injunction case against such infringers, provided that you have to prove a lot of things. In case of an infringement, it is very simple. A court will simply look at what is registered. There will be one registration certificate, and they will look at what the other person is using and make a quick comparison. But in case of a passing off, you will have to prove a lot of things. The court will look at the nature of your mark. It will look at the similarity of the products. It can even look at the similarity of the mode in which you are distributing or marketing your products, the characteristic of your products, the class of customers. Let's say, for example, that the class of customers are very, very educated for a particular product. Then it is very difficult to prove a case of passing off in that case. The court might actually say that looking into the average intellect of the consumer, there is no case of passing off, or there is no case of appropriation of somebody else's goodwill. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, is a major advantage of registering your trademark. If you register your trademark, all that the court will look at is a mere comparison between what is registered and what is being used by the other person. It will not go into the question of who are the consumers, what are the class of consumers, nature of product, etc., etc. That is the biggest advantage that you get while registering your trademark. Another big advantage which most people don't talk about is, let me give you an example. Let's say that you are carrying on business in Bangalore under a name. Somebody else is using a similar name in some other part of the country. They are trying to make it look as if it belongs to your company. Then what do? Do you have to go to that part of the country and file a case, spend lots of money, try to find a lawyer you've never heard of, go to a place where you don't know the language? You will not do that. If you have a registration, you can initiate a case against anybody in the country from your principal place of business. Understand this. If your registered office is in Bangalore, even if a person is infringing in Hyderabad, you can drag that person all the way to a court in Bangalore. That is the biggest advantage of registering your trademark. In case of a passing off, you can only initiate a case or file a case where he is carrying on business, or where he has appointed an agent or a distributor who is transacting on a commercial scale. So let us look at a few examples of in what cases have the courts, granted injunctions, and what cases have they said, what kind of cases where courts have said that there is a case of passing off or an infringement of a trademark. So this is the most famous case. Everybody knows what is Manik Chand. What you don't know is, in the 1950s, there was a firm called MSS Food Products, which was using the name Malik Chand. Malik Chand. Manik Chand, Malik Chand. Before Dhariwal Food Products. Of course, Dhariwal Food Products has marketed Manik Chand to a great extent. Anybody who chews pan or gutka knows what is Manik Chand. Unfortunately, what happened was, they brought an action against MSS Food Products before the Allahabad High Court, saying that this is our registered trademark. He is using a deceptively similar name. What they were not ready for was the fact that this company was already using this name called Malik Chand much before Dhariwal Food Products started Manik Chand. What did they do? They brought a counterclaim for passing off, stating that I am a prior user. Now Manik Chand could not say that it is not deceptively similar because they are the ones who first filed the case saying that it is deceptively similar. What did the court do? The court simply granted an injunction against the person who filed the case in the first place. They said that it did not matter if the plaintiff had actually spent more money on marketing because this person was a prior user. They said that we will grant him an injunction against you even though you have filed the case in the first place. Of course, the matter went to trial and of course the matter has been settled between the parties. That's why you still see the name Manik Chand everywhere on the streets, in all the cigarette shops and all the pan shops. Alright? Moving on. There was another case in Andhra Pradesh. Somebody was manufacturing agarbattis, decided to use the name Enadu. Everybody knows what is Enadu on television. Including the person who chose the name Enadu for agarbattis. What did they do in that case? The court said that these acts are deliberate cases of infringement. Therefore, we will grant injunctions. There are some people who simply ride on another person's goodwill. We have seen a lot of that, such cases in Adigas, especially in Bangalore. I myself has filed, rather appeared in 6-7 matters where Adigas was involved. There was a case between the company and his own brother who said, no, it is my father's name, I can use it. But the court said nothing, eventually he came and settled. That is the power of registering your trademark. Any part of the country, any person is using that name, you can file an infringement case sitting in Bangalore. Right? And when it comes to marks like Enadu, you're also dealing with what Mr. Nagarjun said was well-known trademarks. That means within a geographical area within the country, whenever you say Enadu, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is that. In such cases, even if you make some minor modifications, the court will not allow it. Some of the other well-known trademarks in India that we can think of is like Tata, Reliance, Docomo, Airtel, Jio. Because they have spent a lot of money in marketing their products, their marks have gotten the status of what is known as a well-known trademark in India. Similarly, some company decided to register the domain name SIFI by making certain modifications. For example, if I have a website called www.google.com, somebody will deliberately register another domain name, www.googlesearch.com. If you understand what I mean. That means they're deliberately trying to register something which is very deceptively similar and they'll squat on it. And they'll expect you to come and settle with them for money. Such kind of things are happening in India and across the world. They will simply go and browse on Google on the list of well-known companies across the world and they will see which of these companies are not in India. Immediately they will go to the trademarks registry and file a trademark application for the same name, same logo under their personal name as proprietor. And they will squat on it. Once a trademark is registered, it is valid for 10 years and even if they don't come for 10 years, they'll simply register it by paying a nominal fees and they'll extend it rather by paying a nominal fees. Eventually, when the company comes to India, they'll find that trademark is already registered by somebody else and they will expect that company to settle with them for money. This is what is commonly known as squatting and that is what happened in this case. Eventually, the court said that appellant was already a prior user of the domain name sifinet.com. They found that the domain name which was registered by the defendant was also deceptively similar. Therefore, they said that we will grant you an injunction, even though it was not exactly the same. Another case of well-known trademark. This company decided to use the word Mahindra and Mahindra. Maybe not for cars or automobiles, but for a different product. But when Mahindra and Mahindra instituted an infringement case, rather for a passing of action, they said that because of our extensive use, this mark has become a well-known trademark, even though it was not registered at that time when this case was filed. Therefore, even though the mark was not exactly the same, they said that, the Supreme Court said that, even if somebody says Mahindra and Mahindra, people might think that it is Mahindra, the automobile manufacturer. The court, for the very first time in India, accepted that a mark can acquire secondary meaning. In other words, even though the word Mahindra is a common word in Sanskrit and other Indian languages, they said that even though the moment somebody utters the word Mahindra, people will think about the product. They will not think about the deity or some other meaning that was originally ascribed to in Sanskrit or any other language. This is what is known as secondary meaning. Another few examples of secondary meaning is what is commonly in some people's pockets, your Apple phones. If somebody says Apple, most young people today think about the phone company rather than the fruit. This is what is known as secondary meaning. And for the very first time, the court recognized it in a judgment, stating that a mark has acquired secondary meaning in the country. Likewise, this is a case where the mark was phonetically similar. Everybody has heard of Cadila Healthcare, or today commonly it is known as Zydus Cadila. They came up with a brand name for a tablet called Falsigo. Another company came up with a tablet called FalsiTab. Just look at the two boxes. Visually, they are not similar. You can make out the difference, even if you are not a medical professional. Would you agree with me? ಊಟ ಆದರೆ ಇದೇ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. But when it comes to pharmaceuticals, the court for the very first time laid down a much stricter criteria. If you look at the pharmaceutical market, most of the names are more or less similar to the other, especially when it comes to vitamin tablets. It will end up with the suffix vit, XYZ, vit, ABC, vit, etc. In such cases, the courts have actually made a distinction between English names and the ability of an average Indian consumer to understand English. Okay, maybe we are living in cities, we can understand English, but if you go to rural areas, such kind of differences are not easily visible, or the people there cannot make out the difference between these two marks, even though visually they sound different. Even if a doctor simply says, hey, hogi Falsigo togolappa anta helidre, if the chemist actually offers FalsiTab, the person in the rural areas might not know the difference. This is where the court for the very first time recognized that English names have especially when it comes to the pharma industry, need a stricter criteria to determine whether whether some mark is deceptively similar or not. This is a classic case where the court held that even though the marks are not visually same, it is phonetically different. Another classic case before the Delhi High Court, Volvo Steel. At that time, Volvo was not in the Indian market. Nevertheless, the court came down very hard upon an Indian company in Delhi which started using the word Volvo Group. They recognized that the company Volvo, which is a truck and an automobile manufacturer, has a global reputation Therefore, even though that they were not in the market in India, the Delhi High Court for the very first time decided to grant an injunction to a foreign company. Otherwise, what would have happened? Volvo Group would have started using it from the year 1998. I think Volvo buses first, correct me if I'm wrong, they started coming to KSRTC in 2005, 2006, somewhere around that region. Eventually, when this company had come to India, they would have faced a very hard time getting their trademark registered. They could have probably not even used that name, because somebody has deliberately infringed upon somebody else's trademark. So even though they were not using the same logo, just because they were using the word Volvo Group, the court decided to grant an injunction against them. In this case. Another classic one, Glucon D, Glucose D. Seen it in the market? Similar. What other, close or deceptively similar marks can you see in the market? What can you recollect? Common products. You were saying something, sir? Huh. When they compared the two labels between Glucon D and Glucose D, the court did not notice a simple similarity just between the names. They also looked at the overall packaging. Even in Glucose D, unfortunately I don't have the picture for Glucose D, it had a similar packaging with a picture of a family, mother, father and a child, and in one triangle which said Glucose D. Let's say that you're simply in a hurry. Somebody says, go get one Glucon D. What would happen? You will simply pick up whatever is very close to that. This is a classic case of infringement. Even though the name is different, even though it is not phonetically exactly similar, looking at the entire overall packaging, they said that it amounts to an infringement. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a brief, presentation on trademark infringements and copyrights. Rather passing off. There are, of course, at least 100 cases, 100 examples which I can give you across India alone, especially in the Karnataka itself. But, due to paucity of time, this will come to the end of my presentation. But however, if you have any doubts or any clarifications, I will be very happy to address them. Yes. Anybody? Yeah.
Many faculties have incubation centers.
Yeah.
So they, people start their business. It may be a database or some kind of product. So does the trademark selection of the faculties, whether it should associate with the institution or they can keep their own kind of?
That I would say depends on the institution's policies. When they are employed with the institution, are they allowed to carry out another business? That is a different question. Some universities permit it. Like Indian Institute of Science actually has a program, it is called the faculty something, where the faculty is encouraged to form his own startup company, and they will even assign the patent or other intellectual property that is generated by him to his company, so that he is compensated for his efforts. Even the university that way will be compensated by way of an agreement. Let's say that new company ends up making 1 crore rupees out of royalty. The university will also get something out of it by way of an agreement. So that is an entirely different question altogether. That will depend on the rules and policies of the institution, I will say. I think it is called the Faculty Remuneration Program or something like that. I'm not very, I forgot the term. Nobody? Yes, please. Please.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am, please.
okay, it was a good presentation. My question is, can we use the trademark's name? Is there any right for it? Can I use it? For example, I want to use the Reebok. Can I use it and start a business? Is there any formality for it?
Are you
formality.
saying that are you asking me how to register it or how to?
Can I use it?
Which are you asking me are you asking me a question on using a trademark that is already registered by somebody or?
Yes, it's
No,
already
you cannot do
registered.
that. You will if they come to know, you will end up in trouble. Or you'll land in trouble rather. Yeah.
No, can I use it legally? I'm asking, can I use it legally?
For a business?
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
I
You will
cannot
have to
use
come up with a different name.
it. Okay.
That's what. There can be a situation even where somebody else is using the same name that you choose without registering it. They might not even have an online presence, but they might be in the market for at least 2 decades. There are many such cases. So there is no real way to find out which name is actually in use or not in use by somebody else. I hope I've answered your question. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
My question is relating to duplicate products, like how sir was mentioning there are many in KR market and we see a lot on the streets. I want to know if there's a regulatory authority which monitors and takes legal action against such vendors.
No, unfortunately, no. You will have to either go to the police and take criminal action, or you'll have to end up filing a civil suit against the defendants.
So as a layperson, can I do it?
No, you will, because you don't have a cause of action to do it. You must have a reason in the sense that you must be the proprietor of the registered trademark. That mark should be in your name, or you should be an exclusive licensee for that mark from the owner. To answer that question to you, let me give you an example. This had happened. I was in Mangalore last year, of course, much before the, no, not even last year, in 2019. Giving a similar kind of presentation to representatives from various MSMEs. So one person came up to me after my presentation and he said, "Sir, I am a franchisee for Bisleri. I am in the bottling industry. I manufacture bottles and I own a bottling plant for Bisleri. I am a licensee from Bisleri." He told me that a lot of people in the market are using fake labels. But unfortunately, the company is not taking any action. But without the company's, go ahead, even he is not able to do anything. That is the situation that you are in as a third person. Maybe if you're an exclusive licensee, with the permission of the licensor, even by making him a party in the case, you can take action against the third person. Unless and until you have a vested interest, commercial interest in that particular trademark, you cannot take up any action. If that is the case, then you have to consume that product and you need to suffer some kind of injury or damage, and that is only between you and that manufacturer. You cannot do anything about the trademark as such. They had to end up changing their entire label. Glucose-D is still available in the market. The entire packaging, the label, etc. had to be changed eventually.
What about Mahindra and Mohammed company, something?
That is gone.
That's gone.
Mahindra got injunction. So somebody in the back. Yes.
Basically, the final conclusion that I understood in what you said, as long as nobody takes action, it's fine for me to use it.
That's your good
Is
luck.
what I've understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But don't count on it though.
Yeah, someday it will.
Because like I said, the registered proprietor may be in another state. He'll file a case over there against you sitting here. If he does not have a registered trademark, then he has to come to where you are. Go ahead. Let's say that you end up facing a litigation proceeding before the Delhi High Court. Will you run around from here to there?
So as long as like we don't become competitors, they are still fine.
No, sometimes when in cases of well-known trademarks, they don't care whether you're a direct competitor or not, they'll come down hard on you. That's what Mahindra did. The defendant in that case was not manufacturing automobiles. It was not even a exactly similar name. It was phonetically similar. But they still went after them. They'll do that. I have recently filed a caveat to a legal notice by Cisco. Everybody knows the Cisco logo with that bar on top above Cisco. One of my clients decided to register only that bar, not the word Cisco. They've sent a legal notice from the United States. Of course, I have ended up filing caveats before 5 different high courts across India now, just to ensure that they don't obtain an injunction behind my back without giving me notice. You know, that is the situation that you will end up in when you try to adopt a deceptively similar mark to somebody else. Bigger the company, you know, the bigger the risk that you will face. Any other questions? Yeah. Sir, illi. Sir, illi. Yeah.
Sir, thanks for the wonderful presentation. In continuation with the doubts that my friends were asking, what is the reason that few of the brands change the trademarks deliberately by themselves? If I'm not wrong, for example, will they do
it's
that?
just that they probably want to have a different brand image in the market. It is purely commercial reasons.
Okay.
For example, Mercedes-Benz has changed it over the years. Pepsi has done it over the years. Coca-Cola has done it over the years. The essential feature of the mark will be the same, but they'll make modifications here and there.
Okay.
For example, that blue and red logo Pepsi has remained constant even though in different styles.
Okay.
Eventually from 2D mark right from 1920s and 1930s, it has come to a very 3D looking mark now.
Even Google has done that.
Yes.
So there is a tough procedure for changing the...
Not really. You have to make another application. That's it. If you want to register it.
Okay. In case of pharma industries, there are a lot of spurious drugs that come and where you can see a lot of change in the prices. Is there no authority that takes care of this process? Against that?
When it comes to the pharma industry, if you are selling spurious drugs, it will amount to an offense under the, I think, the Drugs and Cosmetics Act.
Okay.
Also, apart from being liable for infringement proceedings in a civil case, you can also face criminal charges for selling spurious drugs.
Yes.
These two things are closely related, yes, but the remedies that are given there are essentially different under the law. In a civil case, you will only ask for injunction and damages. In a criminal case, even the directors can be sent to prison if they are held guilty.
Okay.
Directors and every other officer who is responsible for it, including the CEO, maybe even the manager of the factory, everybody can be sent behind bars.
But even today we can see a lot of drugs coming, and why we...
It's just a question of somebody giving a complaint and somebody bringing it to the notice.
Okay. As simple as that.
As simple as that.
Thank you.
No, but there are proceedings going on like that way. It's just that it won't come out in the public. Yes. Right then. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was such a pleasure listening to you, sir. Thank you so much. It gave a lot of insights about trademark infringements and also the power of registration and, registering trademark, everything we got to know from this particular session. Thank you, sir. And giving awareness on court of law, everything. Thank you once again.
As this FDP comes to an end, we are moving through the valediction ceremony. So before the distribution of the certificates, please note that the feedback link for the FDP will be posted in the IDCA official WhatsApp group, and the HODs of the respective departments are requested to pass on the feedback link to the PG students who have also participated in today's FDP on intellectual property rights. Now I will request our respective principal, sir, to give away the certificates, to distribute the certificates amongst the participant. And I will request the HODs from each department to receive the participants' certificates on behalf of the participating faculties. So first, could we request the HOD of Department of Biochemistry to come and receive the certificates? Biotechnology, HOD of Biotechnology, please receive the certificates on behalf of the faculties. Shalini ma'am, could you please receive the certificates on behalf of the BBA department? Samsundar sir, could you please receive the certificates on behalf of Department of Chemistry? Susma ma'am, can you please receive the certificate on behalf of Department of Commerce, UG Commerce? Dr. Kanti Mathinathan, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of PG Commerce? Anuradha ma'am, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Computer Science? Professor Asha Rani, Department of Electronics, could you please receive your certificate? Geeta ma'am, could you receive it on behalf of Department of English? Shubha ma'am, could you receive it on behalf of Department of Genetics? Okay, Vani, oh sorry, Vani, sorry ma'am, I did not notice you. Dr. Mahindra, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Hindi? Deepa ma'am, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Humanities? Mahalinga sir, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Kannada? Lakshmi ma'am, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Mathematics? Professor Rajarajan, could you please receive it on behalf of Department of Microbiology? Professor Rama Bharati, please receive your come and receive your certificate, please, ma'am. Professor Muniappa, from Department of Physical Education. Professor Mukunda, would you please receive it on behalf of Department of Tourism?
Respected dignitaries on the dais, heads of the departments, members of the faculty, and my dear students, a very good afternoon. On behalf of IQAC, IPRCell, Indian Academy Degree College Autonomous, I, Dr. Swati Bhaskaran, member, IPRCell, take this opportunity to extend my deep sense of gratitude to all those who have directly or indirectly contributed to this smooth conduct of KSCST sponsored one-day faculty development program on intellectual property rights. At the outset, I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to Shri H. Hemant Kumar, Executive Secretary, KSCST, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and Mr. Vivek Anand Sagar, IPR Attorney and Consultant, KSCST, for sponsoring and arranging the resource speakers for today's FDP. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my special thanks to Mr. Vivek Anand Sagar, IPR Attorney and Consultant, KSCST, for enlightening us about the principles of copyrights and registration of the procedure of registration of copyrights, and the session was very informative. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my special thanks to Mr. Divyesh Pratap, Advocate and PhD Research Scholar, NLSIU, for accepting our invitation in his busy schedule and sparing time for this wonderful session on plagiarism. It gave us the insights of plagiarism, and not only that, it also explained the simple differences between patents and copyrights in a very simple way. And yeah, undoubtedly, students must have understood how important plagiarism in their research. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Mr. Nagarjun, Project Associate, KSCST, for his exemplary session on trademark registration. It was very interesting, and you made it very simple by giving very good examples, sir. It was very exemplary, and thank you, sir. I also would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Shushan Srivatsan, Advocate, for delivering a commendable talk on trademark infringement. It also gave us the insights of trademark infringement and also gave us the awareness of court of law. Thank you, sir. I also wish to extend my sincere thanks to our beloved chairman, Dr. T. Somashekar, Indian Academy Group of Institutions, in his absentia, for his motivation and all the support for organizing events like this. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to our beloved Secretary Madam, Srimati T. Bharati, in her absentia, for her constant support. Thank you, Madam. I also extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Srinidhi K. Parthasarathi, Chief Operating Officer, Indian Academy Group of Institutions, for gracing the occasion and also for giving us permission to organize this one-day FDP program. Thank you, sir. I sincerely thank our esteemed principal, Dr. E. Jerome Xavier, Indian Academy Degree College Autonomous, for his constant support, meticulous guidance, and he being the driving force to organize this one-day faculty development program successfully. Thank you, sir. I would also thank all the heads of the departments, members of the faculty, and all the students for their active and enthusiastic participation. Thank you, one and all. I would like to also acknowledge Mr. Chandan and his team, IT department, and Mr. Madhuraj, facilities manager, for the technical support and for all the arrangements done for the smooth conduct of today's one-day FDP. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight, and we have been fortunate to have proactive coordinators, Professor Sangeeta Arnijaj and Dr. Sheba, and all the members who had extended their tireless support, commitment, and constant help throughout, from the thought till the execution of today's event. So I must definitely express my heartfelt thanks to coordinators and all the members of IQAC and IPR committee who have worked extremely hard in organizing this one-day FDP program on intellectual property rights successfully. Thank you all once again. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Last one conclusion from my side. Okay, on behalf of KCST, we thank Indian Academy Degree College for having us and associating with us and establishing the IP cell. Few informations I believe you already know, but anyhow, to get one more time, remember, I'll just say a few things related to the KCST IP cell. So right now we have already gone through this patents, trademarks and all those things. See, we can help you in identifying the patents, okay? So whatever may be the area of your subject, if you send us the project proposals, okay? So without no charges, there is no charges from KCST. It will absolutely a service so that we are doing for institutions. So you can send your proposal requesting prior art search so that we will give a preliminary report on that, saying that whether it can go for patent or not, okay? Because since all the intellectual property relates to a business or money matters, okay, a lot of huge money should be invested in this particular case, where you should be aware that how much I should go with the benefit of money. So that is the first criteria that you should think on intellectual property filings, okay? So we'll give the report. Based upon that, you can take your own decisions on filing, okay? Copyrights we can file on behalf of you. Trademarks we can file on behalf of you. Just you need to bear the government fees, that's all. Okay, so this is the wonderful opportunity that we can support the faculties from KCST. And parallelly, we are doing regularly intellectual property right seminars like this. We can give the information to the coordinators of IP cells so that they can share among the faculties who are, whenever you are interested to just to refresh the courses, everything, you can have the, you can come and participate. Okay, it's maybe in the online or offline. Okay, so this is, I think, many of you already aware regarding the intellectual basics, but still some more advanced process you need to know, because patent drafting, specification and trademark filing procedures, okay, still some more details you need to understand. Okay, so if it is regularly one or two times in your programs, okay, so that you'll get refreshment, and parallelly you'll guide your students to have, to get some kind of IP generated from your students also. Okay, so with this piece of information, I conclude and thank for having me in this particular session. It was wonderful to interact with you people since I got very little time. Okay, so maybe next time we can have a more fruitful discussion with this intellectual property subjects. Thank you one and all. Yes.
Respected faculty members, feedback link will be shared in IADCA group by principal sir. Please fill and submit as soon as possible.